It's me, Chopsy, and welcome to the Caffeine Fueled Creatives Podcast. This week I sat down with Eli Holland, better known as Eli The Cartoon, to have a little art conversation with him. It's a little unhinged and a little off the rails, but it's a fun conversation, and I hope you enjoy it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, cool. I
Yeah.
forgot to turn off the recording so it was going the whole time. But that's okay, because I'll cut it all out. So how you doing?
Not bad. Not bad.
Cool. Well, thank you for hopping on here with me. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's taken me like 2 years to actually kind of get my shit together. So,
Yeah, when did you start this?
2023 actually.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to the first couple episodes and it's like, wait, did you say 2023?
Yeah. And then I disappeared, and then I came back, and then did like one episode at like the beginning of 2024, and then never did it again, just because I got busy.
That happens.
So, but since I decided I'm not doing like any shows this year, I figured this would be a good thing to replace it.
Yeah, sure. If you're not going to be out there hustling.
Yeah, I'm a little burnt out. I'm tired of not making money. I like what I do, but it costs a lot of money to do shows, and then when you don't really make it back, it's kind of a wash.
That's disheartening.
Yeah.
You get all that work packing stuff in there and then you don't even make the show fee.
Yeah, well, it's funny because usually it was always kind of a wash because I would do Nampa Festival of the Arts, and that would I would make enough money at that to kind of justify all the other shows throughout the year I did that didn't make a ton of money. But they contacted everyone with their applications this year and said they weren't going to allow stickers or prints unless they were like limited edition, like G Clay prints.
Yeah, they clearly want to be like Art in the Park, but
Yeah, so they basically, you know, banned anything that me and um, Nathan and most of the people I know, the way we do it, they kind of said you can't do that anymore. So
I'm trying to think of anyone that goes to the cons that we usually do that would fall under that category.
I don't think so. No,
Not that I can think of.
nope. Maybe some of those fancy people that, I mean, no, because I mean, people that do like, rainbow trout watercolors, like maybe they do it, but not the people that do the kind of stuff we do. So
Yeah, no. I mean, if that's how they want to take it, sure, but I feel like they're going to miss out on a bunch of stuff.
I think they are too. So that's okay. I'll just take the year off, make some plans, and then I want to start my own. I mean, I'm not putting this on the record, but I would like to start my own zine fest,
Oh, oh, oh.
which would be nice, but I think it takes a lot of work to organize a show like that. So we'll see what I can research.
I have no idea, but something at the beginning of the year would be cool.
Yeah,
Because as it stands, pretty much everything falls at the end of the year for things. It'd be cool to have something in like, you know, start of summer, late spring.
yeah, because I know Border Town is usually in like February, isn't it?
It's next weekend.
Oh, so it's in March. Say, is there anything else? Yeah, it is next weekend because I was like, oh, I'm not doing that, and I'm going to be out of town, so it works out.
I, I wanted to, but I have no idea when deadlines are for anything.
Yeah, it's a fun show. The last year I did it though, we was the first year we tried to do it as Hex instead of like doing it as just my art. and they placed me in a really weird spot with like toy vendors, and I didn't do as
Oh,
well.
I was next to toy vendors at the last Boise Comic Con or Boise Comic Fest, not this one, but the one previous year, so 2023.
Yeah,
And oh boy, yeah, they really take some audience from you there.
yeah, they do.
Kids are much more interested in toys.
Yeah, definitely. That was kind of why I didn't. I did one anime fest, and no one was shopping in the artist alley, but everyone was buying those like $75 like Pokemon backpacks.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this isn't the place for me. I can't compete with that.
Who can compete with Pokemon?
Yeah, it's true. Sweet. So I guess we'll get this thing started.
Nice nice bendy hat.
Oh, thanks. Pretty sure it's a bootleg. I bought it from some weird vendor at a my kid's school event. So
Yeah, speaking of toys.
yeah, cool. So I am here with Eli Holland, also known as Eli the Cartoon on his social medias. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Howdy. I'm Eli Holland. Like you said, Eli the Cartoon everywhere. If you like comics and monsters and food, especially food, check me out.
Oh yeah, your food stuff is awesome. So what? I'm trying to think how to word this. So
Take your time.
explain. Yeah, when I post this on my podcast website, I'm gonna upload like photos and stuff like that, so people will actually kind of be able to see what we're talking about on top of just hearing the audio. But um,
So something with abs, something where I'm like doing an activity, maybe holding up a
just,
big fish.
more I was thinking like your zines and your art, but
Oh, right, yeah, the art. That'll be
yeah.
better.
So why don't you tell people like what you do art wise?
Okay. It's a lot of cartoon art. That's the best way I think I've nailed down to describe it, what people seem to understand. It's like when you think I think the term that everyone's tossing around now is rubber hose animation or Cuphead type stuff. Think that, but for anything. I draw a lot of food related stuff, a lot of D&D fantasy monster type stuff, a lot of fan art. Um, I don't know, but it's all cartoony, like you'd see on Saturday morning cartoons with a little bit of edge. So maybe Saturday evening cartoons.
Yeah, it sounds like it's all over the place, but I've seen it and it is like pretty like cohesive as far as everything you work into it.
It works, yeah. Like I can draw some creepy aliens, or I can draw some fish sticks, and you can all tell it kind of fits into the same box, and that box is me.
Mm, yeah. So this will sound like a dumb question and it's kind of like a broad question, but how did you get into art in general and then how did you kind of get to where you are now style wise and what you do?
Oh man. First off, don't actually learn how to draw.
Yeah.
Because it started off when I was a, little kid and you see some sort of art thing that blows your mind. And for me, that was absolutely comic pages in New York and newspapers. Like, Sunday strips or even just the daily black and whites. I was like, holy cow. This is just like funny little cartoon characters telling jokes. And then you pick up, the next days and you're like, oh, the story keeps going. And then you find one of those collected books and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just stories that they're telling with comic strips, and I didn't even know you could do this. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I could do this." Like, you take a look at Garfield, you're like, "I could draw that." And, as a 10-year-old kid, then you start drawing Garfield, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I can actually do this." And I was like, "Oh, maybe I should learn how to draw." And then you find out learning how to draw is really hard. And you're like, "Oh, I'm not actually gonna learn how to draw. I'm just gonna do as cartoony as I can make it." And then, 20 years later, I'm still drawing cartoons and accidentally learned how to draw.
Yep. Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be kind of a broad like answer with a lot of people I end up talking to on this. So for the most part, with a lot of people that I'll be talking to on here, I assume that uh, drawing your art is not your full-time job.
Oh, actually it is.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I am extremely lucky to have a very, very supportive and understanding and patient partner.
Ah, you got one of those.
Yeah.
Who
Which
can make enough money to allow you to
it's good
just
work if you
do.
can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you are extremely, extremely, extremely lucky and fortunate to have an amazing partner, which I do, shout out to Shiny, could not do this without you.
yeah. And eventually we'll get her on here as well, either the two of you together or just her because she makes stuff too.
Oh, she makes great stuff.
So,
Yeah, Shiny's Shinies. She puts together some incredible craft stuff.
well, that
But
just
yeah, that's the answer to that question is get extremely lucky and have an amazing, wonderful, supportive, and patient partner with you in life.
yeah, that's awesome. I would say I'm jealous now, but we both have day jobs that are like more than just regular jobs. So, you know, Megan's a teacher and I design headstones for 30 hours a week and then get to hang out with the kids. So, I mean,
Oh, there you go.
yep.
Parents' a job too.
Yeah. Especially when you have neurospicy kids like I do.
Also, heck yeah, teachers.
Yeah, she puts up with a lot. I do not envy her at all. Um, okay, so trying to rein this back into the art topic.
Oh yeah, art. That's what we're talking about.
That is. Um, so, um, I guess when did you really start like putting your stuff out there and trying to, present your art, if not actually like try and table and sell things?
Oh boy, let's see. This is kind of a weird thing because uh originally started, put stuff up online, same as everybody else. But I kind of gave up on art for a little bit. Sounds a little weird, but you hit that point where you're like, do I keep trying at art and keep doing this, or do I get what everyone else calls a real job? Because it's fun to draw pictures that are silly and goofy and draw comics, but at some point I might have to try being an adult.
Yeah,
And then did that for a few years and realized this sucks. Being an adult sucks. Why am I doing this? Why am I not doing the thing that makes me happy? And even if I'm not going to make money for it, I need to go back to drawing stuff.
yeah.
So came back around, picked up the stylus, picked up the pencil again, started making art again, and then do you mean putting stuff out physically or just putting stuff out there into the world again?
I would say into the world, but you do a lot of zines and prints and stuff too. So I guess two-part question. Like
Yeah,
when did
no.
you start trying to really put yourself back out there?
Okay, then 2021 probably.
Okay.
Yeah, started seriously being like, okay, I'm going to start posting online as much as I can, post as much stuff as I can, throw out try to do a comic strip a day, try to put out art every day that I don't put out a comic strip. I'm going to try to fill up a sketchbook and post stuff from that. So 2021 really started to hammer at it. And that's also the year where I was like, okay, I'm going to start making zines. I'm going to start making comics to put together into a book. And then next year, which would have been 2022, I'm going to start hitting shows, which would have been my first actual convention event ever, which would have been Boise Comic Fest 2022.
Okay. Saying I think you and I met for the first time through the Boise Zine Fest.
Yep, also that same year.
Oh, was it the same year? I was
Yep.
just about to look that up and like verify it, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, 2022 Boise Zine Fest when we were at Kava.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it was a good show. It's a weird location for a show, but I mean it worked for a couple years, so
Unhinged location for a show.
yeah, a little bit.
The crossover of people coming to get zines and the people that even know what Kava are is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because I looked across the room and saw someone else with cartoon art, and I think I spotted a Lenore drawing of yours and was like, someone else knows what Lenore is.
Yep.
I need to make friends with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first year we met, and I think I that was I at the event is when I followed you on Instagram,
Yeah,
and then just for the most
and then
part tried to stay in contact since then and hit up a
we
lot of
kept
the same
running into each
shows.
other at every single show.
Yeah, just about. I mean, there's been a few shows we've been at that I didn't even know you were there till I was like wandering through, and I'm like, oh, there's Eli's booth.
You'll be visiting some random art and craft thing and go, oh, hey, look, there's
Yep.
mine.
All right. So, oh yeah. So I mean, that mostly answers the question. You hit the ground running, and you started doing shows that year. So
Yeah, and I mean, between then and, giving up art, there's, years and years and years of still drawing and doodling in the meantime.
yeah.
I just want to emphasize that it's not just, oh, I decided not to draw as a child and then in 2020 decided to pick up that pencil again and was great.
Yeah. Nope. I think it comes and goes, and if you get lucky and start actually like being successful at shows, then you start really pushing for it. But I've been back and forth multiple times, tried my hand at music as opposed to art, and did that for a while, and then quit doing music to do art again. So it's
What instrument?
all of them: guitar, bass, keyboard, drum machine. Like I've mostly played in a bunch of punk bands, and Uh, it's really weird because I was playing in pop punk bands when pop punk was not popular anymore, and now it's
What do you
coming
mean
back.
when?
What was that?
Pop punk never left.
It wasn't as popular, but now it's coming back like really big, and I'm a little jealous. But I'm almost 43, so that dream is sailed.
No, man, that means it's time to start a ska band.
I mean, yes, I do love ska, but I've got other things to do. So when we were talking about when you started putting yourself out there, you mentioned pencil and stylus. So are you mostly digital, mostly pencil, like physical? Are you a mix? Like, what is you know, what are your tools look like when you're creating?
Oh man, the stuff I actually put out there is almost 100% digital, but I would say all the prep work, like sketches, thumbnails, like working through everything is 100% physical. I like the clean look of digital, but my brain just doesn't work right when I'm trying to work through an idea if it's digital. So I've got sketchbooks and piles of, loose printer paper and crappy notebooks just filled with just dirty sketches, just the loosest, messiest stuff. And then when I'm ready to like, okay, this idea is set, this is finalized, this is concrete now, then I'll take it into whatever your digital option of choice is at the time and just pop it in there and clean it up. Just because I like everything to look clean. As much as I appreciate how fun and fluid it is to do, pen on paper, pencil on paper, sketching around, when it goes to the final product, even the slightest little line out of place bugs the heck out of my brain.
Yeah, I mean, your finished stuff does look super clean, so that doesn't surprise me in the least bit. So what is your digital workstation of choice then right now?
I mean, I used to do clip art, but around the time, I jumped back into it hard, iPad and Procreate. I
Nice.
cannot stress this enough to people who like don't use this. Like iPad and Procreate will get you 90% of the way towards anything that you could possibly want. With the way Adobe does their subscription stuff, skip out on Adobe. If you need some of that more complicated stuff, go clip art. But if you just want to like draw something, Procreate. Procreate on an iPad. Like draw anywhere and do whatever you want. Like I said, 90% of the stuff.
Yeah.
Procreate's so good. This is not an ad for Procreate. I just love it and think everyone should use it.
Yeah. I bought Procreate when it first came out with my it was an iPad 2 that could not use an Apple Pencil. So it was all drawn with
Your
one of
finger?
those. Oh, it wasn't a finger, it was one of those styluses with the little clear like the disc on the end of it so you could see
Oh
through it.
yeah.
So I used to use one of those and it was fine until I decided I wanted to do something else, and I couldn't necessarily afford a newer iPad. So I went and bought a used Surface Pro 3 from the pawn shop and got Clip Studio Paint when it was just a purchase one time thing before the subscription. I've been using that for years, but
I love Clip Studio. Yeah, before that I was all like a old decrepit Wacom tablet
yeah,
with Clip Studio. But I mean,
yep,
like, software isn't gonna make you good. That's what I always like tell people, like parents, when they're asking, like, "What do you learn how to draw?" And like, "What do you think I should get my kid?" Like, a notebook and a pencil.
yeah,
If they've got to go digital, Microsoft Paint's always free.
yeah,
But like, just anything that you can make comics on. That's like my favorite thing about comics is whatever you can draw on, you can make comics.
yeah. And that's the one thing that people don't understand is, a little handmade folded comic zine is just as valid as like a high-end colored printed comic at the end of the day. It's all a matter about making it and putting it out.
Yeah, for sure. And like the more you practice with stuff, the more you're going to realize that you might want extra tools. So like, you spend hours on Microsoft Paint, eventually going to realize that you want layers.
Yeah.
And then you can make the jump to some other program, but just draw.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best advice of the day there.
I used Photoshop for way too long before I realized that I didn't even know what Photoshop did, and I was just using, three tools.
Yup.
But that's circle back around in a bad way. That's why Procreate's great. Super simple. You can use as much or as little as you want to, and you're never going to wonder what the other 90% of the program does.
It's very true. I every time a program goes on sale really cheap, especially through Humble Bundle is one of my favorite places to get stuff because if a program is cheap and it'll let me do art, I'll buy it and I'll try it and then decide, "Oh, it's cool, but I'm not going to use this on a daily basis."
Humble Bundle's the reason for my Steam library looking the way it does,
Mine as well.
and my Kindle library, and like a dozen emails that I haven't looked at full of thousands of reference packs.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can't do like ebooks for some reason. Like I like to be able to hold the book.
Oh,
So I stay away from the books on there, but games and software bundles for sure.
shout out to Humble Bundle. Also, not a
Not a
not an ad.
sponsor, not a
No, just
sponsor,
love
but
Humble Bundle.
yeah, it's a great resource. I mean, you can also get a bunch of games cheap, and then sometimes you miss out on getting a bundle that has the game you want, and then you have to wait 2 years for it to go on sale on Steam.
Now I want to look at Humble Bundle.
I'm on there probably every week trying to see what they've posted. So if Humble Bundle wants to sponsor this podcast, I will gladly take their money or free software. Well, no, I don't want free because usually goes to good causes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would donate my Humble Bundle to good causes.
Yeah. Uh, all right. So, um,
Oh, this is about art, right?
it is about our yeah tangents. That's why I was wanting to record somewhere else that was going to be longer than a half hour, but it's okay. We'll make it work.
We can
Uh,
cut it and come back, do another one.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I think we'll get it under there. Are there any art topics, pet peeves that you want to talk about?
I mean, let's see. Boy, howdy.
In the future? I will like ask people this ahead of time so we can have it prepped. But
Yeah, no. Uh, well, I've got another artist here in captivity. Do you encounter that problem where you see a new medium of art and you can't help yourself and you really just want to tackle that new medium, but you have no idea how it works or how to incorporate it into whatever you're doing, but you know that it's the next big thing for you, and then you buy all the materials for it, and then you never do it?
Yeah, all the time. Uh,
Okay.
that's
How do you
why
deal with that? And by that I mean the growing pile of different art tools that is inevitably sitting in every artist's workspace, garage, craft room, closet.
I am constantly rearranging,
Oh,
trying to make sure everything fits in the room, going like, I'm gonna use that someday. I bought a glow forge. I've only used it twice, but I plan on making more stuff for the shows that I'm not doing this year.
you gotta find excuses to use the Glowforge.
Yeah.
Like, I just used mine for the, Krampus thing.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm just as bad with softwares though. Like I
I
have
can't.
I have Blender. Haven't you learned how to use Blender? I have
Oh, you should. Blender rules.
I know it does. I have Anime Studio or Moho and haven't learned how to animate with that yet.
Oh, man, you can use Blender to animate. Get in there and try out Grease Pencil.
I know I want to so bad. I have I'm half-ass working on a bunch of computer games, so I have like four different game engines I'm trying because I can't decide which one's going to be best to do the simple point and click adventure game I want to do.
Oh, point and click should be easy.
Yeah, I know it is. I have an engine just for that, but I'm still trying other ones. Just got a notification that we're running out of time.
Oh, no.
So we might
Well,
have
do
to.
we wanna pop this thing over into a new session and just stitch them together,
Yeah, I can do that.
or do you just wanna try to run out this 9 minutes?
Oh, it gives you a timer? Oh, I see. I see now up there. Yeah, no, I think we can probably wrap it up in 9 minutes.
Alright,
Uh,
cool. What's the first comic that you remember seeing when you were like, "Whoa, I wanna do that"?
oh, first comic. Uh, Honestly, it's going to be like I've always,
N
when I was young, it was a lot about like X-Men and stuff like that. But the first time
Sure,
I
but when you
saw,
were older and you're like, I wanna do this."
but the first comic I ever saw where I was like, I want to draw these would be the Ninja Turtle Adventures, published by Archie Comics.
I was about to say in the little
Yeah.
about that size,
Yep.
sold at the grocery store.
Yep, the ones that were more followed the cartoon and just the style of those. I was like, I can draw like that. I know how to draw those characters. I could do this. But that was also long before I understood that like it was a complete industry and like a job that someone had. I just thought people drew comics for fun. I had no idea how they got paid.
Oh,
What was your first comic?
fun. Oh boy, I mean, because there was a long difference between, "Oh, I love these Sunday comics," to, "Oh, wait, I could actually do this as a thing." But the first one that made me stop and go, "Hold on, this can be comics and people can get paid for this," was Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Oh, yeah. No, that is
Yeah.
one of my favorites, but I was well into the idea of someone got paid for this when I started reading those.
That was the one that always sticks out to me because it was a big split between, this isn't Spider-Man, this isn't Peanuts, this isn't Calvin and Hobbes, this isn't Archie.
Yeah,
Like, I found it in the back of someone's car and was like, "Hold on. Someone got paid to draw this?"
they did, but in all honesty, he didn't get paid that much.
And they don't call it slave labor graphics for nothing.
That's very true. Still my favorite publisher of all time, though.
Yeah, back to Eleanor.
Yep, so much good stuff came out of that. So do you have any shows coming up for the year, or just anytime soon that people would wanna you'd want people to go to?
No, but I will be putting up my website soon, which will feature, comics that I've been working on slowly in the background the last couple months.
Nice.
If you've caught me at any of the other shows that I've been at, I've had a little preview of Food Goblin,
Mm-hmm.
which is a comic strip about a little goblin boy who wants to be a chef. It's a fantasy comic with a little bit of anachronistic flair to it here and there. But I've actually been slowly just cranking out pages every single day, getting ready to turn that into a bigger book. And when my website finally pops out, then all those pages will be available for you to read, including a ton of other comic stuff that I've had in the past.
Nice.
Alternates is going to be up there. Random other comics I've had going is going to be up there. All of Food Goblin to whatever I'm working on right now is going to be up there.
Cool. And
So no future
who are
event.
you hosting that through?
Bluehost. You know how it goes.
Bluehost. So is it a WordPress site then?
Of course, it's a WordPress
Oh,
site.
love WordPress so much. So
I
easy.
how how do you make a webcomic in the last 20 years without going through WordPress?
Very true. Some of the webcomic options have are not valid anymore through there though, and that's been a struggle recently for me, but we'll have to
Yeah.
chat about that more.
Oh, I'd love to, because
Uh,
I've got thoughts.
yeah,
But yeah, shout out to look out for EliTheCartoon.com whenever it finally drops. I'll be blasting it everywhere
cool. So
because
I
I've got
assume,
stuff I want to share.
yeah, so I assume you have the domain already, then it's just a matter of making it live.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, then I will include that in the notes for the podcast for people to eventually click on and be like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, by the time it comes out, I should. What's up? Sorry, you froze for a sec.
Oh, did I? No, I didn't
Now
say
we're good.
anything else. You started to say by the time it comes out.
Oh, by the time the podcast comes out, then should be ready to go.
Oh, you're gonna have it done within the next week or so?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how hard I work.
Yeah,
We'll see what comes out on Netflix in that time period.
yeah. Well, I've have a lot of experience with WordPress, so if you ever need help finagling something, I probably know how to do it.
Finagling it needs.
Yeah, cool. Well, I guess
Well,
we'll
we still
wrap
got
this.
4 minutes. What do you want to talk about?
It's a good question. I mean, we could talk more about your website. What theme are you using?
Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce it. To check?
Oh yeah, I just keep calling it too cheeky, but that's not how you pronounce it.
Too cheeky is pretty good though. If they're not
Yeah.
going with that, they should.
I tried playing with that one and I couldn't quite get that one. I couldn't, there's a lot of options on it.
And the options are what get you because they're set up to be primarily a webtoon focused.
Yeah.
But there are like a couple options there where you can kind of get in there and mess around with, and it switches it to a more traditional webcomic setup.
Oh,
And as
okay.
soon as I figured out that's what it was doing, I was like, oh, this is what I want.
Yeah.
But not bad once you, like most WordPress stuff, once you figure out what you want it to do and how you get it to do what you want it to do, worked great.
Yeah, I've
I
got
mostly like it because you can separate out series, so you can have multiple comics going on the same site without
mhm.
it getting tangled.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do too. And then when I confused myself with it and couldn't figure it out, I was like, you know what? I've got all this space. I can do like extra subdomains. I'm just going to do a different domain for each comic I want to put up.
Wow, Mr. Moneybags over here.
No, not at all. It's
Different domains.
no, I have my hosting through DreamHost, and
Oh wow, they're still around.
yeah, they are still around, and you can host for it with the hosting account. You can host as many websites as you want for like $15 a month.
Nice.
So I have three main sites with their own domains, and then I have three subdomains under my It's Me Chopsy,
Oh, there you go.
and it's all the same price for hosting. And the subdomains don't have their own domains; they're just like, you know, podcast dot itsmechopsy.com, and the comics are Friends Forever and Tales of Moss Idaho so far.
Nice, and it all works through the one hosting.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Nice.
can host unlimited websites with unlimited pages.
I don't know if I need that many. I'm gonna be honest.
I probably don't either, but then I was like, oh, I can do this. I might as well do it. So
All right, this claims we've got a minute left. You watching
Yep.
anything cool?
Am I watching anything cool?
Yeah.
No, not really. I I don't haven't been watching a lot of TV. We watch Bob's Burgers like reruns on Hulu like almost every night, but been trying to watch a lot more horror movies with my wife since she'll actually like watch them.
Oh, shout out to a weird movie I watched today on Netflix called Delicious. It's a foreign language film. It'll take you some places.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I've been trying to get caught up on the Jordan Peele movies, so
Oh, nice.
we did those ones, but
What's your favorite so far?
I really liked Nope.
I think about that monkey scene all the time.
Yeah.
All the
I
time.
think that was the only one out of the three that didn't make Megan's skin crawl as bad. And that was where Zoom cut off the call. Again, I'd like to thank Eli for being on the podcast. This was awesome. I had such a blast talking to him. Again, check out all of his work at Eli the Cartoon on social media and elithecartoon.com. I will have links in the description for the podcast. Theme song for the podcast is Escape the Maze by the Lab Brats, used by permission from Adam Wallace. Again, I'm Chopsy, and you've been listening to the Caffeine Fueled Creatives podcast. You can find all my work at itsmechopsy.com and at itsmechopsy on most social media platforms. Until next time, have some caffeine and stay creative.